Yo, what's going on, guys? It's Jack. Welcome back to the YouTube channel. And with the NBA draft completed and free agency going on as we speak, we're going to discuss the biggest winners up to this point in the offseason and the biggest losers as well in the NBA. Now, with that being said, there's still a lot more big decisions coming for teams like the Lakers and Nets, with guys like KD, Kyrie Irving, and Russell Westbrook. But we're just going to make these determinations based off where they stand right now on July 8th, with a lot of moves already being made. So yeah, with that being said, let's get into it. Now, the first winner I want to talk about today is the Utah Jazz, and this is mostly due to the fact that they got 6 first-round picks already just from the Rudy Gobert and Royce O'Neal trades. And you're probably thinking, Jack, how is this team a winner when they essentially traded away their second-best player and maybe their third-best player? Well, this is because the Jazz took a step back and they realized that the Gobert and Donovan Mitchell tandem was not going to work anymore and they were not going to win a championship. So they decided to pick a direction and go for a retool or rebuild surrounding Donovan Mitchell if he's not traded. Now, if they decide to trade Mitchell, they will be set up very nicely with a lot of nice draft capital to work with for the future. But for now, they have seemingly committed to building their roster around Donovan Mitchell for the future, and they will do so with their picks that they've gotten from these 2 trades and also this year's 19th pick, Walker Kessler. Now, on the other hand, the first loser we're going to talk about today is the Dallas Mavericks. And this is a team that went to the Western Conference Finals last year, and they're going to take a step back. I would not be surprised if this team is a first-round exit this year coming up, because they are going in the wrong direction. They lost Jalen Brunson to the New York Knicks, and this previous trip to the Western Conference Finals was largely due to the play of Brunson. And they traded for Christian Wood, who is a very solid player, but him and Jalen Brunson are essentially the same tier of player. So the whole thing just cancels out. This trade does not put you over the top. It does not allow you to contend with teams like the Golden State Warriors. And with teams like the Nuggets, Timberwolves, and Trailblazers getting better this offseason, the Mavericks are going to be stuck in this constant loop of being mediocre, especially in a Western Conference that is getting better and is already very good to begin with. So the Mavericks are losers because they did not make any significant changes to help them in the future. Yeah, they didn't get worse. They might have even gotten slightly better with the trade of Christian Wood. But this trade does not take you over the top to win against teams like the Warriors in this Western Conference. So the Mavericks are losers here. So now we have to talk about the next winner of this offseason so far, and it is my favorite team, the Boston Celtics. And I might get some backlash for this pick here, but I don't care. I absolutely love what new general manager Brad Stevens is doing, and I love the trade for Malcolm Brogdon. We gave up next to nothing for this guy, and also the addition of Danilo Gallinari off the bench provides a lot more depth as well. And I'd argue the Celtics might be the deepest team in the NBA right now, but that's just me. They gave up next to nothing for Brogdon, with a package most notably including Daniel Tice, who in my opinion is terrible anyways, so that's completely fine with me, and a first-round pick. That probably won't even be that good anyways, since we are currently going all in for a championship. I think Brogdon fits perfectly into what the Celtics are trying to do with their scheme. He provides essential playmaking, defense, scoring the basketball as well, which in my opinion is what we missed a little bit in the finals against the Warriors. We missed that go-to scorer when Brown or Tatum were struggling. And I think Brogdon will fill into that role nicely. So I have no complaints about this trade at all as a Celtic fan myself, and I definitely think they are winners so far this offseason. And with the addition of Gallinari, we just get more scoring off the bench, which never hurts to have either, which is exactly what I mentioned before. We could always use more scoring. So, yeah, the Celtics are definitely winners here so far. Now, another loser this offseason obviously has to be the Brooklyn Nets. And this team might go down as the biggest epic fail ever, if you will. They lost James Harden in the middle of the season for Ben Simmons, and he has not played 1 minute so far in Brooklyn. And now their two best players, Kyrie Irving and Kevin Durant, are most likely going to be traded. And to top it all off, they do not have a first-round pick until 2028. I'll just let that sink in. It's giving flashbacks to the KG and Paul Pierce trade. This team just continues to fail every single year. No matter what they do, they can't help themselves. So essentially, the Nets are most likely going to have to trade KD and Kyrie and restart all over again. So they're hopefully going to have to do this by getting some other teams' draft picks. And it's sad because this was a team that was predicted to win the NBA Finals 2 years ago. And now their whole entire team is essentially falling apart after getting swept by the Celtics this year in the playoffs. Both of their two most important players want out. They've both been rumored to the Lakers. KD's been rumored to the Trailblazers, the 76ers. There's all kinds of stuff, so we'll have to see what happens with that. But for now, it's a rough scene over there in Brooklyn. But they won't be able to tank either because they don't have any of their draft picks. So we'll have to see what direction this team heads in from here. But as of right now, this offseason is definitely an L for the Brooklyn Nets. Another winner of this offseason has to be the Philadelphia 76ers. And this one's a little more interesting because James Harden declined his huge player option in order so he could sign a more team-friendly deal with Philly. And this actually shows that James Harden is committed to winning a championship there and is open to taking a pay cut, which I did not expect at all. And the Philadelphia 76ers used this extra money, and they were able to sign PJ Tucker and Daniel House, who are two very solid wing players, especially PJ Tucker, who played a huge role in Miami this season. So the 76ers, believe it or not, are trending in the right direction, and they are going to contend for a championship this season. With the rise of Tyrese Maxey as well, this team is going to be scary, and this is definitely a huge offseason for them. So this is a W for sure. Finally, to conclude this list, another loser this offseason has to be the Washington Wizards, which is a team in a similar situation with the Mavericks, just not as good. Now, the Mavericks are obviously way better than the Wizards, but the Wizards made a huge mistake, in my opinion, this offseason. They chose to extend Bradley Beal for another 5 more seasons, and this move just puts them right back into this constant loop of mediocrity, where they are not good enough to be a contender in the Eastern Conference, to contend for a championship, but also they're not good enough to get a top 5 or 3 pick to start a rebuild. So they're just going to be stuck and not do anything. And in my opinion, it would have been better just to let Bradley Beal walk, or maybe try and trade him so you can get some draft capital or something. If I'm the Wizards, I would try to commit to rebuilding at this point, but there's really nothing they can do now. And so this offseason is definitely another L for Washington. So yeah, that's going to do it for this video, you guys. I want to know what you think in the comment section down below. Who do you think is the biggest winner in the league? And who do you think is the biggest loser? Could be a specific player, could be a team, anything. I want to hear what you guys have to say. Also, where do we think guys like KD, Kyrie, and Westbrook are going to end up? I want to hear what you guys have to say. Definitely let me know down in the comments below. And yeah, I hope you guys enjoyed this video. Thank you for watching as always. I'll see you next time. Peace.